Welcome, friends, to Afternoon Adventures. Streaming live with Yorkie, where the fun never falters. A Yorkshire guide wilts under the New Mexico sun, as he shares the warmth with the story begun.
Under golden skies, the tales take flight. Yorkie's ready with a sparkle in his eyes. Fantasy, sci-fi, or a modern twist, each tale's a treasure, none to be missed. From rolling hills to haunted towns, epic quests where legends abound. Heroes rise or stumble and fall, but Yorkie's here to see it all. With each new game, a door swings wide. Step through with Yorkie as your guide. Join Yorkie's Afternoon Adventures, where stories grow and danger fades. Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return. Point and click tales where puzzles unfold, episodic journeys with stories bold. Visual novels rich with choice, F&B scenes where actors voice. Role-playing quests where fates entwine. Strategy games with plots that shine. Narrative games where the plot runs deep. In Yorkie's stream, the stories leap. No matter the genre, the tale's the key. In Yorkie's world, it's all about the story. Join Yorkie's Afternoon Adventures, where stories grow and danger fades. Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return.
Join Yorkie's Afternoon Adventures, where stories grow and danger fade.
Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return. Pulling when lost to mysteries grand, to moral choices that guide your hand. Political intrigue or personal strife, the games explore the depths of life. From epic battles to a quiet chat, these stories cover all of that. In Yorkie's stream, the topics range. Each adventure brings something strange. With every theme, new doors ignite. In Yorkie's world, the tales take flight. Join Yorkie's Afternoon Adventures, where stories grow and danger fades. Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return. As each tale ends, a vote takes place on his YouTube community page. The viewers decide what's next in line for the tales we'll share in this grand design. From epic quests to quiet nights, we'll find new ways to reach new heights. Yorkie's here, so don't delay. Another adventure's on its way. With every vote, a new game begins. In Yorkie's world, adventure wins. Join Yorkie's Afternoon Adventures, where stories grow and danger fades. Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return. Through every twist, through every turn, there's so much more we've yet to learn. In every choice, in every path, there's magic found in every laugh. The stories weave, the moments blend. With Yorkie here, the fun won't end. The journey's long, the road's not straight, but side by side we'll celebrate. With every game, new bonds are made. Characters live where memories fade. Journeys shared, both near and far. These tales connect us like a guiding star. In every choice, in every play, new paths are forged along the way. So join us now, the time is near for another adventure full of cheer. In Yorkie's hands, the stories shine, adventure waits for all in line. Join Yorkie's afternoon adventures, where stories grow and danger fades. Laughs and thrills at every turn, an adventure where we'll all return. So join us again, don't miss a beat. Yorkie's channel is the place to meet. With stories fresh and games so bright, we'll chase the day into the night.
Gather round, brave souls, and hear the tale of Thalindra moon song, a hero through and through. Welcome to her journey, in the light and in the shade, in wrath of the righteous, where the winds of freedom play. The world wand opens and demons rise. Darkness spreads through crimson skies. In the chaos, hope is hard to find, but Thalindra stands with it, an unyielding mind. Through fire and chains, she'll make her way, to push back the night, to bring the day. She's a beacon in the night, guided by the stars' light. With bow in hand, she'll stand her ground. Her courage fierce, her aim profound. In every shot, the darkness fades. Thalindra's courage never fades. Thalindra roams where the wild winds call, a child of twilight where shadows fall. The open road has been her guide, with Desna's dreams always by her side. But now she's drawn to a greater fight, to defend the world from the endless night. For freedom's call, she'll always fight, her spirit soaring to the height. With bow in hand, she'll stand her ground. Her courage fierce, her aim profound. In every shot, the darkness fades. Thalindra's courage never fades. In Keonan's woods, her skill took flight, harnessing earth and the winds of night. Her arrows strike with nature's grace, a storm within no foe can face. With every shot, she holds the line, her spirit strong, her aim divine. Her power flows from earth and sky, she strikes where shadows die. With bow in hand, she'll stand her ground. Her courage fierce, her aim profound. In every shot, the darkness fades. Thalindra's courage never fades. Even the lone need a helping hand. Allies gather, together they stand. Seal a shield, Ember's gentle light, land steady aim in the endless fight. With friends beside her, she faces the tide. In their unity, the darkness is denied. With allies strong, her strength ignites. Together, they turn the tides. With bow in hand, she'll stand her ground. Her courage fierce, her aim profound. In every shot, the darkness fades. Thalindra's courage never fades. Oh, Yorkie, can you guide her through? In the paths of chaos, where the winds blew, will you lead her true as the battles rage, or lose her in the abyssal stage? Her eyes now turn to the mythic call, the Azata's light, to rise or fall. She'll chase her fate through fire and sky. With Desna's blessing, she'll learn to fly. Her journey long, but she won't back down. She'll wear the stars like a hero's crown. Her fate entwined with stars above, she'll rise on wings of love. With bow in hand, she'll stand her ground. Her courage fierce, her aim profound. In every shot, the darkness fades. Thalindra's courage never afraid. Oh, Yorkie, can you guide her through? In the paths of chaos, where the winds blow, will you lead her true as the battles rage, or lose her in the abyssal stage? Her eyes now turn to the mythic call, the Azata's light, to rise or fall. She'll chase her fate through fire and sky. With Desna's blessing, she'll learn to fly. So join along back down as her story flows through battles fought and the winds that blow. Yorkie's afternoon adventures, don't miss a beat, for Thalindra's tale is far from complete. Come back soon, for the journey's long, and see where the winds will take Moonsong. Her story's just begun, there's more to see. In the light of the stars, where she'll always be free.
Alright then, it's your old mate Yorkie here, welcoming you back to those afternoon adventures for more of the narrative games that are less action and shooter oriented. Let's continue with Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. We've conquered Drezen. Now it's time to start leading the crusade proper. Thalindra Moonsong, our kinetic sharpshooter heroine. Azata now. Just third mythic rank at the moment. I'm sure more will come later. Taking a minute to get in there. It'll get in though, don't worry. Come on, Pathfinder. There we are. Right, in we go. Into the Citadel. A middle-aged paladin with a genial face salutes you. His sparse grey hair stands in fuzzy tufts on his head, giving him a distinctly unwarlike appearance. A bright crusader boarding for duty. My name is Siar Kubelin, and I am at your service. Queen Galfrey is gathering the main attack force in Drezen. She ordered us to replenish the losses suffered in Canabris and come here. We will support your troops. A tall, dark-eyed lad is standing behind Siar. He passionately echoes Siar's word. We're ready to go to the front immediately. Allow us to be the spear of the attack. The old crusader calls the young man to order, more vague. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't worry, no one will be defeating any demons without you. Siar smiles kindly and tousles the boy's blonde hair. Oh, let me just update the text thing. The chat log. Properties. There we are. Who have you brought with you? Ever bright crusaders mainly. We have a lot of volunteers who joined us. Those who arrived at the Queen's call but didn't want to sit in the ocean waiting for the main army to set off. All the hotheads know that the front is here. Siar nods at the boy behind him, the one who's eager to fight. We picked up this one too. He walked to Canabris with an old sword in his hand and a few copper coins in his pocket. He was going to keep walking till to kill demons, and then he would probably have laid siege to the threshold, no doubt. The boy's cheeks go pink at the old man's gentle mockery, but he continues to stare ahead resolutely and boldly. Did you fight in Canabris? How are things there? Not personally, no. The Queen summoned me and the bulk of our order to Norosian. Almost all those who remained behind in Canabris died, and the ones that didn't were disorganised and leaderless. But the order did not perish. New volunteers are being pouring into our ranks. We're licking our wounds. Canabris is rebuilding. Life wins out. People are coming from all over Avistan to help. Many are joining up with the Crusaders, just as it happened back in the First Crusade. Great, you'll be serving under my command. The Crusader gives you a friendly smile. It's an honour for us, Commander. Let's give the demons a dusting. Alright, let's... what do you want, Erebeth? Erebeth's eyes are vacant. Her thoughts are clearly somewhere else. Seeing you, though, she snaps her attention. Hail, Commander. I found your father's sword. Here, take it. Praise Iomedae. The sword... Erebeth takes the sword as gently as it was a living creature and sheathes it in its scabbard. I don't know what to say. I'm forever indebted to you. I never thought I'd get my sword back. Please, allow me to reward you, and please, no objections. I could never replace this sword. I shall never part with it again, I swear. How's the Eagle Watch doing in Canabris? Everything is going well. I was wary of handing over the reins at first. I was afraid that everything would fall apart without Inevia and me. But I took a risk and left a very clever lad in charge. A tiefling, as it happens. He infiltrated the cult alone. They couldn't ever imagine a tiefling would be on their side. Or wouldn't be on their side. He exposed an entire cell. I personally knighted him. Just before the city was attacked, of course. But many weren't happy about it, but it's not my job to make people happy. He hasn't disappointed. He's built up the Order's ranks again and he's running everything so smoothly. It's as if the demon attack never happened. He's proven more than once that I left Canabris in good hands. But I admit it's still strange to think of such a small order as the Eagle Watch now has 2 chapters, one in Drezen and one in Canabris. I don't really want to bring this up because she's anxious about it, but maybe a little reassurance. We need to talk about what happened during the attack on Drezen. Erebeth nods curtly. Yes. I was shamefully faint-hearted. Praise Iomedae, it didn't affect the course of the battle. Still, my behaviour was unworthy of a knight, even less a commander. Under the circumstances, leaving my position would be tantamount to desertion. Still, as your advisor, I strongly recommend you release me from my position as the head of the Order, strip me of my knighthood, and send me to serve in the condemned. Few deserve titles more than you. Don't blame yourself. Under the circumstances, you did everything possible, and more besides. Thank you, Commander. The gratitude in her best voice is sincere. A spark of enthusiasm appears in her eyes, which has grown dull over recent weeks. The half-orc salutes you sharply. For a moment, you once again see the Erebeth, who was ready to protect the defender's heart to her dying breath. Thank you for still trusting me, more than anyone else does in this crusade. Even more than I trust myself. Maybe I see something you don't, Erebeth. Despite your words, Erebeth obviously still feels unworthy of her commander's rank. Changing her mind will require more than platitudes. Perhaps you can bolster her by appointing her a position where she can work more closely with rank-and-file soldiers whose faith in their commander remains undimmed. Nothing else to say to her right now. Erebeth says goodbye with a short bow. Don't want to talk to Regil. Anivia, anything? Look who it is, hi! Have you figured out how the demons have been sneaking up on us? Anivia answers with scarcely concealed irritation. No dice. Our scouts crawled all over the area, down every hole, nothing. The Grey Road was completely empty and then, bam, a whole army popped up like a jack-in-the-box. My only lead is a few scouts who didn't come back from the gorges to the southwest, but we found no sign of secret paths or underground passages, and definitely no route we can use to quietly move a large force through. But I feel it in my gut. There's some evil scum out there. We just have to look harder, of course. I could send out more scouts, but they might just disappear like the first ones. Why don't you go there yourself and find out? I will, when I can. Did you find anything about where Minago is? Anivia shakes her head. Nope, zero, zilch, a whole lot of nothing. The scum melted into thin air. Soldiers saw her jump over the window, or out the window, run through the square in front of the citadel and suddenly disappear. We haven't heard anything from her since, and I don't like it. I'm telling you, this is bad. First of all, her kind don't just give up. If we can't see her, it means she's setting a trap for us somewhere we won't expect. I mean, it would be great if the Demon Lords just gobbled her up for all her failures, but I think that's too much to hope for. But that's not the worst part. We have a more interesting question, you know. I wonder how she teleported from the city, if by that time you'd already hung the banner. The soldiers are saying it probably wasn't in full force by then, but you and I both know that's dross. She wasn't supposed to be able to teleport, but she did. And the question is, how? She could have used an invisibility spell. Stealth. What do you think of my new powers? I don't know if this counts as blasphemy or whatever, but you look like Desna just had a wicked way with you. Not unappealing. You've got a bit of that divine sass about you now, on the dragon. I'm a little put out that I didn't get to see how you flew on the thing in battle. I didn't. Sending the demons running scared, grabbing whatever they could and hightailing it out there. I gotta go, Anivia. Alright, you watch yourself. Check out the crusade controls. Alright, we've got a couple of events. Spies in the Abyss have attempted to infiltrate Drezen to find out the commander's plans. It was only by chance that they were stopped. The officers have suggested an increase in security in anticipation of new attempts by the demons. Let's see. Increase the number of interrogators, I don't like that. Introduce collective responsibility. Select trustworthy soldiers who will keep an eye on their comrades. Possible. Oh, that's a bit too rank and file for me. That's a bit too structured. I'm a Desnan. I'm chaotic good. Let's do collective responsibility. The soldiers must always remain vigilant. If one of them is a traitor, everyone is guilty. The officers now harshly put that wasn't what I said. When traitors had been discovered, and the warriors now try to identify enemy agents by themselves. This environment of total whistleblowing helps security but undermines the sense of camaraderie. That was the exact opposite of what I was going for. Alright, well, that's that. Birthright. Nobles often look down on commoners, as aristocrats are taught from birth that they are better than lowborn. This attitude causes quarrels between them and common warriors, and the officers have asked the commander to intervene. Let's have them compete in the tournament. Seela acted as the head judge of the tournament, where everyone was given a chance to prove their worth. The nobles went up against commoners, and only strength and skill decided the outcome of each fight. Upon witnessing what common warriors were capable of, the aristocrats had no choice but to acknowledge their valour. The tournament served as a bonding experience for the Crusaders. Right. Lost Scout, Order, Irabeth. Fate of the Fallen Knight. Rest of the Fallen Knight. Forming a military council. Fate of Chilbane's Horde. Forming a diplomatic council. Staff council. Unholy symbol of Roagog. Studying the Sword of Valor. I do want that. The Sword of Valor, the great relic of the Crusades, mysteriously changed upon coming into contact with the commander. What does this mean? Clerics and wizards could shed some light on the artifact's properties. Get it done. Fate of the Soul Shear. Forming a logistics council. Outpost of Bastion expansion. Orders to Irabeth. I don't think I can do that because we've got something else going on, don't we? Irabeth's breakdown, which occurred before the assault on Drezen, still haunts her mind. She should be reminded that she was, is, and always will be a hero in the eyes of the soldiers by appointing her as commander of a small squad of Crusaders. Unfortunately, because Irabeth is occupied as a squad leader, her duties in the Crusade command have been transferred to someone else. Let's do it. Can't do that. We can do that. The Crusade depends on support of Nerosian and foreign countries. The Diplomatic Council will see to it that no political problems interfere with regular inflow of gold and recruits to Drezen. And a Staff Council. One can command a small unit alone, but to manage an army one needs a Staff Council. Surrounded by experienced advisors, the commander will be able to make decisions affecting the life and morale of the entire army. Okay. And Lost Scouts, we don't have anything we can do for that just yet. Let's skip a day. The Crusade depends... Okay, we got that one. Got that one. And we can do one fate. Let's get that working on. Your connection was broken. I'm sorry. It seems to be okay at my end now. I think I had a bit of an issue earlier, but it seems to be okay at the moment. Hopefully yours is too. Before you stands a tall, fit man whose dark hair is already tinged with grey. He greets you with a brisk military salute. My name is Captain Sealkind. I command the vanguard of a mercenary group called the Blackstone Company. We've come from Andoran to assist you. Tell me about your unit. The Blackstone Company is proud to be recognised as one of the finest Andoran mercenary regiments. We're not a bunch of unscrupulous sellswords looking to oppress the innocent and serve the tyrants of the world. No, we're adventurers eager to get involved in a dangerous enterprise and leave it with pockets full of gold and a clear conscience. Which is why we held a vote among our units. We're glad to help accept Queen Galfrid's invitation to join the Crusade, though some of our commanders did voice their displeasure with the sum she offered. But like I said, we're Andorans and a free spirit who cannot be pushed around. Sorry, free people who cannot be pushed around and who cannot be bought, only convinced. Why did you join with us? Queen Galfrid paid for our services, but please do not think we're fighting for gold alone. We are true sons and daughters of Andoran, so the ideals of equality and resisting enslavement ring true in our ears and our hearts. We will be glad to stand in the way of demons who seek to force mortal kind into bondage. The bulk of our company made camp in Nerosian, but the vanguard, consisting of our finest soldiers, if I may add, put under your command. Tell me about you, Captain Sealkind. The man flashes a genuine smile. I don't even know what to say. I'm a soldier, a bit of an explorer, and just an all-round honest man. Alright, get on with your duties, sir. Yes, ma'am, glad to be under your command. Captain Sealkind salutes you again, smiles and adds in a soft voice, it'll be an honour to serve with you, Commander. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need to talk, I'd be happy to lend an ear. Usually. Erebeth said that we're under attack from demons with unusual abilities, like that Nabasu that attacked your army at the Lost Chapel. They're very powerful and they're growing in number. You haven't found out where they're coming from, have you? Arushalai looks around shyly and continues lowering her voice, as if entrusting with personal secrets. I'm not sure, but I think I have a lead. I know where to find someone who can lead us to the source of their power. Who are you talking about? A hag by the name of Jerunica. She used to live here before the fall of Sarkoris, but when the demons invaded the world, she happily took their side. The old cannibal knows many secrets. You just have to make her talk. Does this Jerunica have special powers? I doubt it. But still be careful, she is very old and sly creature, and she's incredibly dangerous. Where can I find the informer of yours? The place is called Green Gates. I'll show you how to get there. Long ago, before the world wound, there was the Sarkorian fortress there. The Crusaders built a small chapel. But for many, many years, the place has been home to nothing but abomination and squalor. How did you find out about this? Arushalai quickly looks at the face of those present and seems to curl in on herself quietly, almost whispering. She says, that is a long story. I will tell you when we get there, alright? Alright, thanks for the tip. Happy to help, it's just... Arushalai looks around cautiously again and lowers her voice. You won't go without me, will you? I want to personally make sure this monster doesn't escape you. No, you're coming with us. Oh, it's Grandma Gretlin. Grandma Gretlin lowers herself into a bow. Good day, your commandership. It is we, the artistic board of the Next Door Theatre. We are still working on our piece about your heroism. We have even taken on a few new crew members. We now have a master of stage equipment and scenery. It's my granddaughter, Tina. Tina, say hello to her commandership. We are faced with another dilemma. We simply can't decide on a climactic moment for the act that's all about the Battle of Drezen. Here you listen to the options. Grandma Gretlin holds a scroll up before her eyes and begins to read, running a gnarled finger along each line. Option 1, the commander, so that's you, launches herself out of a catapult and smashes down the fortress wall, allowing armies to rush inside. Option 2, the commander, so that's you again, masquerades as a Baelor and creeps into Drezen in disguise, and then opens the gates to the Crusaders. Option 3, the commander, so that's you again, rides to the attack on an enormous mountain goat, or should we call it a battering ram, and it breaks down the city gates. Well, what do you say? Well, there was a battering ram involved, so I like the version where they ride an enormous mountain goat, but when are you going to get a goat that size? We're still working on that part of your commandership, but it's hard to get a goat in the middle of the world wound, especially an enormous one. But we'll think of something, don't you worry. Grandma Gretlin and her entourage move away, but their voices project so well you can easily hear the rest of their conversation. Do you think the commander will mind if we add the goat and the catapult to the show? That way, the bit where she breaks down the gates will make for much better drama. Did you forget that the role of the commander is being played by a Cyclops? How are we going to launch Lambkin out of a catapult? When are we going to find a catapult that won't just break under its weight? Calm yourself, Tina, it's just a minor snag. You get along the way. We'll think of something, you'll see. Yeah, I mean, that's true. A sharp-looking kitsune gives you a quick business-like bow. Commander, the matters before us are urgent, so let's not stand on ceremony. I am Lady Konomi, the official attaché of Nedosian. Here are my credentials. She presents a scroll adorned with Galfrey's seal. Her Majesty has instructed me to lead your headquarters, Diplomatic Council. Has she? Honestly, I was surprised when Lady Konomi asked me to join the council, says Soziel, but I will do my best to fill the shoes of a trained diplomat. Yeah, strange, says Lan. I got invited to the council too. I'm sure foreign ambassadors will be thrilled to see my face and my manners. Lady Konomi, you haven't mistaken me for some other crusader, Lan, have you? I, like many nobles, have been trained in diplomacy, says Darren, and in fact, I hold the title of Royal Emissary. It is passed down the Arundel line. I must say, prior to this day, I employed my diplomatic skills Surely, solely to undermine Mendev's international reputation. It's time to break that habit. I imagine preventing international scandals will be just as interesting as causing them. Who knows? I might even enjoy it. What's the diplomatic council and why do I need it? To solve matters of politics, of course. The crusade is more than just battles and sieges. It's the largest military project in all of Avistan, funded by the treasuries of more than a dozen major powers. And each one of those powers, in addition to seeking your victory over the demons, also pursues its own goals. The diplomatic council will manage this tangle of political interests and prevent the crusade from losing the favour of influential followers, or benefactors. And while we're at it, ensure that Nerosian remains satisfied with the current state of affairs. After all, for the last 100 years, the entirety of Mendevrian politics has revolved around crusades, in some shape or form. That is why the capital has sent me here, to observe, offer suggestions, and keep the diplomatic situation under control. So your Her Majesty's spy trying to make me do her bidding. Yeah, not happening. I see. You've been sent to keep an eye on me. Let's have me give you that idea, Commander. I'm not just an overseer. I'm not an overseer. I'm your loyal advisor. Yeah. A rose by any other name. I do not intend to meddle with the way you run things, just consult with you in cases where the price of error is too high. Put your trust in me and we'll get along swimmingly. Yeah, I don't trust you at all. After all, none of us here want to see Cheliax and Drumer at each other's throats, try and settle their dispute by using their influence on us as political leverage. Am I wrong? And I doubt you would like it if we made enemies in the ranks of Nerosian nobility, who would attempt to undermine your war effort. Really? They're so stupid they'll try and undermine a fight against the only fight that's gone anywhere against the demons. Then I don't need their help. They're idiots and I can't trust them. This won't happen as long as you trust my experience. Tell me about the Royal Council. What is it? The Royal Council, operating under Her Majesty, is the highest governing body in Mendev that comprises her most able and trusted servants. It is responsible for day-to-day matters of state. They are the hands and voice of the Queen. The Council has gathered people from all walks of life. Some of them are nobles, but many more are citizens of humble origins, who earn their positions through their wit. Many are rich, but a fair number of them are more humble means. Some are pious and pure of heart, like Lord Inquisitor Kasori and Captain Jasper of the Crusader Heralds. Others are more flexible and ambitious, but each of them fully serves Mendev's cause. A question about the composition of the council. Do you find someone's presence surprising? Social has never had to deal with diplomatic concerns before. That won't be a problem. In my homeland, Xianxia, inviting clerics and paladins of Shilin, the Lady of Chrysanthemums, to take part in diplomatic missions is a common practice. They may not be politicians, but they are perceptive, advocate peace, and favour balanced solutions. I am flattered by the respect that the worshippers of my goddess receive in Lady Konomi's homeland. Soziel bows his head courteously. I won't let you down, Thalindra Moonsong, and I'll make every effort to prevent our friends from becoming our enemies. Why did you want Drezen to take part in the council? Why? Because Count Arendae is influenced naturally. He's a Mendevian aristocrat. The nobility will be inclined to listen to his opinion. Do you not know his history at all? You're a bit of an idiot, aren't you? And by ensuring the support of nobles, we'll find ourselves powerful allies. Drezen sneers back at her. Oh, believe me, Lady Konomi, I will exert all my efforts and influence to make this council's job interesting. Why did you choose Lan to join the council? We diplomats call this little trick Mysterious Garundi Prince. During negotiations, it's always useful to have on your side a representative of some obscure but potentially populous and powerful nation. Without knowing what they're up against and how many mongrels there are, our diplomatic partners will have to contend with this dark horse. So Mr. Lan will be our mongrel prince. If we're negotiating with foreign ambassadors and I make this sign, Lady Konomi crosses her fingers in an intricate gesture, you immediately start talking about how offensive their proposition is to the mongrel people. Do we have a deal, Mr. Lan? Lan scoffs and glowers at Lady Konomi. I suspect that the word diplomat was synonymous with fraud. But I thought you would be deceiving me, not deceiving others with my help. No, that's not an option. I can represent the mongrels in negotiations, but I'm not going to lie through my teeth. Well said, Lan. Tell me about yourself, Lady Konami. Who are you? Lady Konami lowers her eyes in a show of modesty. It's unbecoming of a diplomat to talk about themselves at length. But how am I to refuse you? I come from TNCR, from the noble Kitsune. Like any Kitsune, I have always been curious to a fault, and my adventures brought me to Avistan. And here, in your lands, I met my first and true love, politics. I've served as a diplomat in the courts of 6 different sovereigns, but working for Her Majesty turned out to be the most interesting of all. Such riveting webs of intrigues and interests are spun around the crusade and the world wound. Yeah, well, she's been losing for 100 years, so I'm not particularly impressed. Everything is clear to me now. In that case, why don't we discuss our first pressing diplomatic issue? What's on the agenda? I hate to say it, Commander, but not everyone in Erosian is pleased with your progress. Some believe that, to use their words, you are out of control and fancy yourself an independent leader. Well, fancy myself when I am one. It wouldn't surprise me if we encountered supply disruptions in the near future. I would suggest quelling their anger. Show the capital you haven't forgotten about the chain of command. For example, you could hold a parade in honour of Her Majesty. If we need to demonstrate that we're keeping Rosian in mind, why don't we invite the capital's High Priest Drezen to a religious festival? It'll be appropriate, and the Church's support will shield us from the accusations of schemers. Pander to the naysayers? I think not. I propose we hold a parade in your honour, Thalindra Moonsong. This is your victory, and if Cousin Gulfrey wants to show off in front of the soldiers, she's welcome to catch us something of her own. Lan's eyes flash with anger. Are they out of their mind? We've got a whole Drezen full of soldiers who need medicine, food and weapons. Until everyone has been taken care of, we can't waste a single coin on pointless celebrations. What did I do to incur Nerosian's discontent exactly? You were too good. You reclaimed Canabres, you won the Battle of Drezen, you're a menace to the world wound, your authority grows, and the influence of the Queen's confidence diminishes. This creates the impression that there's only enough space for you at the top. The members of the Royal Council are afraid that you will muscle them out of the political arena altogether. If they're going to act like that, I might just do so. After all, if you're doing so well, maybe Her Majesty doesn't need them much. Therefore, they might try and discredit you, impede your war effort, reduce the scale of your victories, make some concessions, and they'll see that you're open to negotiation. Let's see, so we're under attack from demons and all manner of crap from the world wound, and they want to undermine me. Yeah, I've no time for them. I want to hear the opinions of my advisors. Lady Canon gives you a look of surprise. Whatever for? Aren't the wishes of the capital obviously enough? Although, very well, let us hear her counsel. Social, how does inviting the High Priest to a festival help us? Without a doubt, we should remain loyal to the Queen and respect the hierarchy. Questionable. But that doesn't mean we have to kowtow to the Royal Council whenever they ask. I think we should neither do their bidding nor seek to quarrel with them. Rather, we should try to take the middle path. The High Priest of Nerosian is a powerful figure, yet he's not a schemer or a politician. By inviting him to the festival, we'll both show that we're not cutting ties with Nerosian, and let them know that we have influential friends and are not about to buckle to the Royal Council. Darren, what's the point of taunting the capital by throwing a parade in my honour? There is a fine line between taunting and setting boundaries, and between showing respect and putting on a collar. Mind you, I'm not suggesting anything treasonous or disrespectful. A parade in honour of the true heroine of Drezen and Canabres. What could be more natural than that? Besides, a healthy amount of disobedience guarantees that people won't pester you with lectures and nonsense as often. A dozen tutors responsible for my upbringing can attest to that. Provoking the capital would be unwise, says Lady Konami. We're trying to avoid unpleasant consequences, not expedite them. I'm sure that was merely an extravagant jest on the council. You don't know him at all, do you? Lan, do you think ignoring the capital's worries is a good idea? And what are they going to do about it? We're the ones protecting them from demons, not the other way around. Having loyalties from the capital is great. But there are more important things, like having loyalty of our own soldiers. When the demons come, what will we do? Shake our fists and say we've got powerful friends in Nerosian? I tend to agree with you, Lan. Why, that's true. Who needs to stay friends with those who supply you with provisions, recruits and weapons? And there's certainly no reason to fear that base jealousy and envy at the sight of your glory might get the better of their common sense. Because that has never happened before. It's your job to make sure it doesn't, you fool. Lady Konami, what good will a parade in Her Majesty's honour do? It will be symbolic and affordable. Show them how much you respect and value Her Majesty. Make a curtsy to those who pay for your arrows, swords and bread. The Royal Council has power. You wouldn't want to turn those patrons into adversaries and test whose influence is greater, yours or theirs. Please them, they will stop worrying about your loyalty, and you will be able to focus on the war. So let me get this straight. Hiding behind our backs and betting their safety from the demon invasion with bread and other people's lives is a new form of charity? Are you sure we shouldn't go to them, drop on our knees and thank them for allowing us to die in this war? Everything's clear, and I think, Lan, you make the strongest point here. Soziel, you make a good point. Darren, you make a tempting point. Lan, you talk sense. Helping those in need is what I will get. I don't need to increase morale though, do I? But I am a role player. Religious faith, we could do that. You know what, Len? We'll bring the High Priest. I do like what you're saying, but I think we do need to have some celebration. Let people let their hair down, and let's have the High Priest here. A moment, Commander. I understand that you're used to being the highest authority in all matters, but political decisions are an exception. No, they're not. I am a professional in this field, you are not. By ignoring my recommendations, you are not only deliberately seeking conflict with the capital, but disregarding common sense as well. I urge you to reconsider. You think you have the right to talk back to me? You can go back if you want. She shrugs disarmingly. I do hope you'll forgive this little rot. I'm merely doing my job by trying to satisfy my superiors from the capital. Yes, exactly. You belong to them. Stop lying as if you're part here for us. Who are, incidentally, your superiors as well? No, they're not. You invited my companions to the diplomatic council, now you refuse to listen to their opinions. I'm simply suggesting that you give your companions time to find their feet in the council and try to grasp the principles of being a diplomat. Also, if they weren't on the council, your decision could be mistaken for the decrees of a tyrant, which is what you're trying to make it, Konami. And that is definitely not the public image you need. Yes, you're trying to make it the decrees of a tyrant, but not me. Ah, now I understand the role that I've been given Lady Konami. I'm supposed to stand in a pretty doublet and keep my mouth shut. I can promise you the former, but not the latter. Don't tell me what to do. We are inviting the High Priest, that is all. Lady Konami's voice hardens. I cannot challenge your decision. Correct. However, I have no choice but to inform the capital that you have disregarded my recommendations. Actions like these are precisely what gave Nerosian cause for concern, Commander. I hope you will revise this defiant stance in future. I wouldn't bet on it. You're making me want to dig in harder. I'll see to it that the High Priest receives a proper welcome, and let him know that the strength of our faith is just as absolute as the loyalty to Mendev. And with that, we can bring this meeting of the Diplomatic Council to a close. It is unfortunate that things were so tense, but I'm sure we'll soon have many more opportunities to resolve any misunderstandings between us. Hail, Commander! Before you, an aged yet fit and sturdy Garundi stands at attention. His dark skin has an earthy tone to it, and crystals sparkle forth from where his hair and eyebrows should be, clearly identifying him as Noriad. Captain Hamadan, chair of your staff council, by order of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, here to deliver a report. I'm on this council too, Sealer salutes briskly. We'll be racking our brains on how to improve troop morale. I reckon the key is to back up our words with actions. Lead your soldiers by example, and they'll be eager to follow. Drawing on my experience as a paralictor, my advice is to maintain calculated moderation in every regard. Be it in it. Shut up. I'm doomed to be your advisor, but do you know what that means? That you're doomed to listen to my advice. To start things off, here's an incredibly novel and deep thought for you. Loyalty, passion and morale, all of these can be easily bought with money. Commander, permission to report. We've encountered a problem. Although we're still getting volunteers, we're now seeing cases of desertion. Many who joined the Drezen campaign believe that their duty has now been fulfilled with a victory, and they are not keen on staying in the garrison. Those from Canabres wish to return home and rebuild their ruined city. Understandable. Lastly, there are those who are afraid of lingering in a place where demons might show up with a retaliatory expedition at any moment. My suggestion is to improve living conditions for the privates. Raise their pay, give them extra rations, reward those who have distinguished themselves on the battlefield and with commendations and gifts. Soldiers don't want to leave armies that appreciate them. I feel for those folks, but we have to convince them to stay. I think we might get some help from the servants of the gods. They'll tell the soldiers that the danger has not yet passed and inspire them to keep up the fight against evil. As long as the wound is open, the whole world is in danger. We can't just go home and live like we used to, no matter how badly we want that to happen. I agree, Sealer, but I think approaching them directly is better. Shut up, Rachel. This problem is quite simply solved with coin, but handing money to privates is practically throwing it away. We need to pay the officers handsomely, and then they'll figure out how to raise the subordinates' morale. Darren, you're a lazy bugger. We don't always have to pass it down the chain, as it were. Tell me, Captain, what does the Staff Council do? In short, we make sure that whatever orders are given, they are executed properly. Our job is to keep our soldiers' morale high, so they always follow their officers' commands without question. As for the officers themselves, we look for any unseemly or incompetent types who subvert the troops' trust. I have questions for the Council. Understood, Commander, ask away. Sealer, what are you doing on the Council? It's pretty self-explanatory. We're not fighting for a sawmill here, this is a crusade against the abyss. When you're up against demons, you bring a paladin. It's a rule that's tried and tested. Fair enough. Regil? No. Darren, what can you do on this council? Mostly I'm just waiting for the end of it. But since I have little choice, I'll give you some advice on how to charm your subordinates, be they people of importance or simple commoners. I'll tell you the biggest secret right away. Free money. Gold is the most miraculous power there is. It can have, I'll give you that. Captain Hamilton, why did the Queen appoint you to preside over this council? I'd been in the Assyrian infantry for 100 years, fighting for 3 pharaohs. Then, after I joined the Crusades, I served Her Majesty Queen Galfrey for 2 more decades. I dare to hope that I've gained some decent experience over those years. I see. Let's discuss our options in further detail, as you wish. Sealer, what is your plan? The situation is not that dire. Morale is high and we have won a major victory, so some have let their guards down. We have to call for priests and paladins to get it through to the volunteers, but it's still early for celebration. If they leave their homes today, Drezen will fall again tomorrow, and the day after, the demons will show up on the doorstep. Servants of the gods are indeed masters of sweet-talking others into dying free of charge, all through pretty words, but when the choice comes down to inspired preaching or homemade pies, 9 of every 10 will look for comfort in their home and at their table. Their incentives need to be more substantial than wasted breath. I hear you, Darren, but I think she has a point. Rachel, just stand and watch. Darren, your opinion, please. Our forces are in good spirits. It's just that the euphoria of victory has gone to a few heads. No one can sober them up quicker than the officers, especially those of lower rank. We'll give our dear oaths all those sergeants and corporals a bonus on the sly, then promise to sweeten the deal once they've convinced the volunteers to stay. Perhaps they will do so over a beer mug, or maybe with a broken nose. Why bother solving problems yourself when you can push them off onto someone else? Shut up, Rachel. Captain Hamilton, what would you advise? The volunteers believe that we've almost won. Great. Let's not ruin this pretty illusion. Instead, we'll turn it to our advantage. We'll increase rations and pay for the privates, rewarding the most distinguished and with accommodations and gifts. Who would abandon the victors when they provide you with free food, with good food and better coin? Shut up, Rachel. We shouldn't lie to our soldiers. If we build up flimsy illusions now, the demons will shatter them later. Those fighting alongside us must recognise the seriousness of the situation. Instead of celebrating victory when the war has only just begun. She does make a good point. Thank you, everything is clear. We take Sealer, that's one possibility. Glory to Heroes is something that can raise morale. Shut up, Rachel. Darren, no, I'm not going to bribe the officers. Captain Hamilton, issue the private pay raise and improved rations. At once, I'll distribute the pay and rations right away. The commendation list won't take long either. We should see results shortly. Thank you, Commander. Should any difficulties arise that require attention, I'll deliver a new report immediately. Alright, so we've got two of our things set up. Hall of Glory. Put that there. Alright. That's about all I can do right now. Time to head out. See if Ivo can take us to... "5 days fit Soulshare. Orders to Erebeth 6. Studying Sword of Valor." Alright. Yep, let's head out. And see if we can meet up with the folks that Evo told us about. Well, first of all, we've got people in the streets apparently. Well, I'm not sure where we're going there. Let's just head out. Right, Lan, you're not going to be joining us anymore. She is. I can't turn my back on our little Drezen here. Our sister in the faith. A free spirit in the making from demon cloth. Let's go to the commander's court. As you approach, the commotion at the top of the ridge dies down for a moment, before soaring to new heights. That's her, yes! Look at the butterflies! Hello? There's a dragon here too, you know. I'm way more interesting than a butterfly. And it was me who asked Thalindra Moonsong to come here anyway. Who's a good dragon? Avo's a good little dragon. Suddenly, Arishale stops and steps behind you. She looks rather embarrassed. I know who they are, but what if they... I mean, I'm a demon and... You see your old friends, the 3 Drezen adepts from Canabres, standing at the head of the crowd. Thalindra Moonsong, finally! We rushed here as soon as we heard what happened in Drezen. We brought friends too, except we've only just met some of them. Allow me to introduce them. Maîtresse Ola Devara, the illustrious exiled alchemist. Those formidable warriors there are halflings from the temple of Chaldera, Zuzaristan, the goddess of battle and recklessness. This is a famous street artist, Maestro Avon Turin, a pseudonym, of course. Rare is the administrative building in Avestan that has escaped his brush. And here in front we have our mounted gnomish contingent, the cavalry sculptors. We have all come here to help you fight the force of the abyss. Why is Metazola exiled? Prejudice, that's why. The disheveled woman shakes her head in disdain. Her clothes look as though they've been given since a dozen times over, and dragged through various paints at least a dozen times. For some reason, people are suspicious of alchemists who worship Caden killing. Drunk alchemists. They also consider my experiments dangerous, which is utterly preposterous for one. Science comes at a price after all. And besides, it wasn't I who caused that explosion back in Absalom and raised half a block. I mean, I wasn't even there. Still, now that I'm surrounded by open-minded people, I'll be able to unleash my talents and show those demons that bombs can protect us when as well as our prayers. What is goddess Chaldera and her worshippers famous for? A belligerent-looking halfling salutes you with his sword. Chaldera is a goddess of mischief, battle and luck, and a close friend of Desna, the Moon Mother. Chaldera's not the goddess of strategic planning, put it that way. As her worshippers, we charge headlong into battle, leading the others into the fray, and we despise evil in all its forms. My friends and I have long wanted to support the Crusades. This is the first time we've seen a leader we're willing to follow. An artist on a crusade, a street artist to boot. Dusty galleries and pompous patrons aren't quite my scene, is Maestro Avon's dignified response. I only paint in places where people can see my work and appreciate its special meaning. I used to paint flowers and the sun on the walls of the besieged forts to make the attacking armies realise they were destroying another's peace and joy. I once depicted the acts of Iomade in a painting in the middle of the Chilaxian capital, not because I worship her, but rather to remind the people of Chiliax that this proud tyrant toppling goddess was born there. I don't yet know what I will create here in the Whirlwind, but I feel I must play some part in the salvation of the land. Cavalry sculptors? Exactly! One of the gnomes sitting on the saddle grins happily, looking from head to toe a brigand. The cavalry sculptors are an ancient and revered gnomish society. In certain circles, that is. Our only rivals are the pikemen confectioneers. But they don't have a noble legend that tells of the creation of their society, unlike us. According to this legend, a brave gnome knight once participated in a battle that lasted many days. He had to ride into battle down one and the same path, past one and the same boulder. Soon he was fed up with it. He started to chip off a piece of the boulder each time he rode past it, eventually carving into a giant apple. The little gnome turned out to be so captivating that soon the knight's entire squad began to do the same, and then the enemy joined in too. It goes without saying that they were all gnomes. The war was soon ended, but before it did, they'd carved all kinds of fruit and vegetable from the dozen boulders and a couple of rocks. All while mounted too, and that's how our noble society was born. Are you all going to join my army? Of course not, her uncle replies, clearly speaking for everyone. We didn't come here to march around in neat little rows like all the crusaders have come before us. We're here to answer the call of our hearts, and we're going to help you in every way we can. We will all do something for our cause, but we are free spirits. We take orders from no one, and we certainly do not join other people's war games. Good. Good. Be free. Army discipline and the grey walls of Drezen do not stir our hearts, Thalindra Moonsong. Yet I know that you are the wind of change we've been waiting for. In Knabres, I witness your kindness, bravery and tenacity. I'll follow you straight into hellfire. All of us will. But we will tread our own path. Now, what am I going to do with you? I know what you need to do. Knight them, Ava whispers loudly. She continues, a little embarrassed as Aranka and the others look at her in surprise. I mean, I've been told many stories about Galarian, and that's what always happens in them. Thalindra Moonsong is a knight commander, right? That means she can knight you all. Ordinary knights are a bit boring, but I know Thalindra Moonsong will make your oath really exciting. I like the sound of that. We'll be the Free Crusaders. What do you think, Thalindra Moonsong? Just make up an oath so that we can be knighted, and then we'll start a campaign against the demons, and they will tremble before us. Let eloquence flow forth. Phil. The speech you extemporise goes something like this. Well, I'm glad you're all here. I hope that you'll make worthy crusaders, considering yourselves knighted. Bit awkward, but sincere. What more could you want? Leave the pompous speeches filled with long, confusing words to the boring old paladins. And we've got rid of the Hellgate or whatever it is. Ooh, oh wow, what was that? Where did it come from? I'll bet a jar of strawberry jam. It came right from Elysium. I mean, I don't have any strawberry jam, but still. The big grown-up dragons in my family can transform their environment like this. But how did you do it? All the wallflower scratches a bridge with nose, clearly anxious. We've seen something like this happen before, Thalindra Moonsong. Back in Knabres in the temple when we all gathered together. The glowing aura encompassed you. And we heard music that wasn't really there. Just the same this time. A wondrous power dwells within you. My power manifests itself spontaneously. I don't know why it happens. Wallflower looks at a little patch of nature that appeared out of nowhere. We'll try to figure it out, all of us. I'll need Matrice Ola's help, and the others too. We'll set up a camp right here on the edge of the to monitor any new changes. There's not much to analyse yet. I've only witnessed 2 cases where something unusual happened around you. Both cases were spontaneous, and both times you were surrounded by people who helped and inspired you. The first time it happened, you saw a vision, but now a fragment of the vision has been brought to life. Who knows, Thalindra Moonsong? Maybe you'll be able to heal an entire world wound just like you healed that little patch of rock. What are you going to do now? We'll set up camp here. Our learned friends will observe this Garden of Elysium and study it. The artists among us will start working on their art. I'll help the Chaldean halflings prepare to launch raids against the demons. The cavalry sculptors, I have no idea what they'll do, but I hope they'll keep themselves busy somehow. Drop in by in a couple of weeks, will you? We'll have settled in by then, and we may even have something else to show you. But it's a secret for now. You've got the most important part, honestly. What would you do without a smart little dragon like me around? as artists have courts. The Court of Silent Laughter, for instance, or the Court of the Flaming Storm. They always have such pretty names. People come to the courts freely, and then stay because they feel they like it there, and have some affinity with it. That's why Thalindra Moonsong has to give this place a name. It's her court, after all. Alright. I'm a kinetic archer, or kinetic sharpshooter, who use a bow to fire kinetic blasts which are imbued with air, electricity, and therefore storm. And a rising storm could be a rebellion. I think that's what we go for. Right, nothing to do here just now, but we have got this open. Now, hang on. Alright, you can come up and start gathering extra troops to fill out your army. Alright. Ah yes, I have to get these out of the way, don't I? You're going to join these guys. Paladins, let's put you on the outside and you on the outside. That's the rides on the outside. Alright, good night, Eraru. Thanks for joining us. What else do we have here? You join up with them. You join up with them. You join up with them. More. And You join up with them. And with that, we're going to end for today. It's going to be a short episode. I am really tired today. But we've got the crusade started. Next time we'll go exploring. I'll see you then.